Hello and welcome. At the end of my last video, which was unboxing Brusho powders, you will have seen some bonus content which included this, which has been made with Lidl Cardstock grey, some Miri red and one of the sheets of Brusho's background that I'd previously created. So I need to make a couple of Valentine's cards, so I thought I'd turn this into a Valentine card. So sticking with the grey and red theme, I've got some leftover grey pieces for matting and layering some sentiments. I have got the pack of the Lidl Cardstock, so I'm going to make the base card out of the red from that. And the stamp sets that I'm going to use for sentiments on the front are these Creative Craft Products Love and Marriage. So I'm going to go ahead and do this first. So I thought on the front of the card I could have Hey Gorgeous here and Be My Valentine down here. So very simple. It's going to be for a man. So I've got some scrap cardstock, which as you can see I've cut some wreath out at Christmas. So I'm going to stamp these. I'm going to stamp these two sentiments. Okay, so I've stamped both of those in Versafine Claire Nocturne, which is their black. I use this because it gives a very crisp image, but it does take a little while to dry. I can see that's still a little bit wet, so I'm going to take that off and set it aside to dry. As you can see, I had a little bit of an accident with my finger, so I'm going to put those up there and let them dry. And we're going to move on to making the red card base. So this is my topper, and I'm not going to cut this down at all. So that's 5 by 7. So I'm going to probably make a 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. Now I appreciate that isn't a standard card size. I could cut this down 1/4 of an inch on 2 of the edges and make a standard 7 by 5, but I make my own envelopes anyway, so I'm just going to make the card a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I've cut this to 10 1/2 by 7 1/4. So I'm going to score at 5 1/4 in the centre, but I don't know if you can see, I've got some ragged edge. Blade on my trimmer is not doing very well. The channel is full, so I will clear that out. But to rectify that, I've shared in a previous video that I've got a cut down nail file block, and if you run the sandpapery edge along it, it will take that off. So that's cleaned that up quite nicely. It's good enough. So I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to score this at 5 1/4. So that's my card base. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick that on some foam. I'm going to put some Pritt stick on the back of the foam just to give me some manoeuvrability. So the way that I make my inserts may be a little bit different to the way everyone else does it. I don't measure my card. I buy paper, 120-gram paper in A3 sheets. I use that to make envelopes. So I have often large pieces of leftover paper. So this is one of those pieces. I just fold this in half because I'm going to be trimming it. I fold it in half and then I open the card, put the folded edge up against the folded edge, which I know is straight, and then with a pencil I mark just in from the edge of the card on both sides, and then I trim those off. So as you can see, what I've done there is I've made that smaller than the card. So I'm going to do exactly the same with this side edge. I'm going to mark just inside that edge of the card. That then sits perfectly inside the edge. So what I'll do now is just put a line of tape or glue, whatever your preference is. I tend to use tape. Put a line of tape here, and then when you open the front of the card, it will automatically pull this first page. What I will do before I stick it is I will stamp the sentiment in the centre, because I have many a time stuck this in, stamped it, and then the stamping has gone wrong, and I've had to try and price this out of here without ruining the card. So I will stamp the sentiment in there first, and then we'll get it stuck in. So as you can see, I've stamped Forever and Always on the inside, and that's using again this Creative Craft Products Love and Marriage set. So all of the sentiments have come from the same stamp set. So that I have stamped with Memento Tuxedo Black, because honestly I had an accident with the other sentiments and I've had to restamp those in the Memento Tuxedo Black because they just weren't drying at all. So those are now dry. So I will go ahead and do those in a moment. So we'll stick this in. It doesn't need to be a lot. I mean, even that's probably excessive. Just enough to attach it to the back of the front of the card. As you can see, when I now pick that up, it will pull this sheet. So that's the insert done. I'm now going to do the sentiments. So I have layered these up onto some red mirri with some red tape. I use tape with mirri and glitter mostly because glue will take the finish off of the card. Only in very exceptional circumstances will I use glue. So I'm going to attach these onto the front of the card. I think I'm going to finish it by cutting some hearts out of the red mirri and just having a few dotted around. So I'm going to go and get those cut. Okay, so I've cut some hearts out of a couple of little dies that I've had, and I'm going to dot those around on here. So I'm going to do that with some quick grab glue. So this is the finished card. Simple use of the Brusho background with some die cuts and some stamps. Perfect Valentine's card for a man. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the content today, and if you have, please do consider giving us a like and subscribing. Please also give us a comment because it's always good to know if we're going in the right direction. So yeah, thanks again, and I shall see you next time.